How's it going, everyone? I'm Klidge, and today's episode of Behind the Surface is going to be a bit of a softball. Normally, this series is going to be used to cover real historical figures rather than fictionalized heroes. But there are so many mythological or folkloric characters in FGO that I wanted to extend this series to them as well. So, to start off the more fictitious characters, I wanted to look into one that I know is light on details, but is a character that I love dearly. Everybody's favorite neat princess and Japanglish master, Osakabehime. Now, when I say light on the details, I mean it. I'm talking there's only 2 non-fate related resources on the first 3 Google pages. I don't like to rely on the in-game descriptions too much because they are often embellished to a certain degree, so I'd rather my sources come from a more accurate source. But, here's what we know. Osakabehime is often considered to be an elderly 9-tailed fox spirit who lived on Mount Hime, where Himeji Castle is located. In fact, the Hime in Osakabehime comes not just from her title, but also her location. The Hime kanji in Himeji Castle is the same Hime used for princess. The god of Mount Hime, where Himeji Castle is built, was known as Osakabe-okami, thus Osakabehime. She is said to haunt the castle because during its construction, the shrine dedicated to her was removed and enshrined in another place with several other gods by Toyotomi Hideyoshi in the 1580s. The belief is that this angered the mountain goddess, and that she was appeased by a new shrine constructed for her at the site of the castle. The other name that she was given, before she was given a proper name, was the less creative title, Castle Monster. This is where her third skill gets its name. However, there is a belief that something supernatural did live in the castle. After a massive renovation to the castle in 1608, mysterious circumstances began to occur, until eventually the current head of the estate, a daimyo named Ikeda Tiramasa, became gravely ill. Though it is not known if this is what killed him, this scared the family enough to construct a shrine in the castle to enshrine the god, supposedly Osakabe-okami, and try to relocate the god. So real quick, I want to explain something about the word kami and how it relates to the translation of the word god. I'll break it down like this. All the gods are kami, but not all kami are gods. Kami is a catch-all term for supernatural beings. Kind of. It is incredibly complicated, but one way for something to become a kami is to enshrine it. You can make something that is quote-unquote evil a protector by enshrining it. I'm absolutely not a master of Shintoism, so if I'm misinformed, please let me know. This is information that was taught to me by my Japanese instructor some years ago. But by enshrining something, you can make it a protector of your people so long as you make offerings to it. Osakabe-okami seems to fall into this category as she does do favors, as I will go into now. Something that remains constant in the Osakabehime legend is that once a year she makes herself known to the lord of Himeji Castle, and tells them the year's fortune for the estate. This is where her first skill, after being upgraded, gets its name, Four Gods Divination. Her connection with origami appeared to be entirely made up by FGO. She is said to be able to control small animal spirits known as Kenzokushin, so FGO probably slotted in origami instead. I believe it is meant to be a play on words more than anything, because kami means god, and also paper, spelled with a different kanji of course. It also just seems like a very shut-in princessy thing to do. I only bring this up because her second skill is named after this, and I want to try and draw connections between history and skills as best that I can. Oh, and for those curious about the bat motif, this is also a mixture of FGO and truth, because she was one time described as an old princess with a bat. Now, aside from what we've already covered, there is one famous tale regarding Osakabehime that I would like to tell you. This story is from theyokai.com, which I used as a research resource for this video, and I highly recommend that you check it out because it's a dictionary for all kinds of yokai. If you love Japanese monsters, it's a phenomenal source of information. For now, I would like to read you the tale of Morita Zusho. During the Edo period, a young page named Morita Zusho went on a dare to go see if a yokai really lived in the upper floors of Himeji Castle. He waited until nightfall, and then, paper lantern in hand, he climbed to the top of the keep. As brave as he was, Zusho couldn't help imagining what would happen to him if there really was such a creature up there. Finally, when he reached the top floor, he saw a faint light coming from a door in the attic. He peeked in, but whoever was inside had heard him. A woman's voice called out, "Who's there?" Zusho was paralyzed with fear. He heard the sound of a kimono rustling. The door opened to reveal a beautiful, elegant woman in her 30s wearing a splendid 12-layered kimono. Zusho felt his strength return and politely introduced himself and explained his reason for coming. Amused, the yokai replied, "A test of bravery, you say? You will need some proof that you actually saw me." She gave him a neck guard of a helmet, a piece of his master's own family heirloom armor, to show his master as proof that he met Osakabehime. The next day, Zusho told the story of what happened to his master. Everyone had trouble believing him because he had always heard that the yokai took the form of an old woman and not a young one. But when Zusho presented the neck guard, his master was shocked and had no choice but to believe the story. And that's it. That's all that we know for now. Thank you so much for watching through to the end. I really appreciate it. Like if you enjoyed it, comment a servant you'd like for me to do a deep dive on, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Next time, I'll be answering a question that has haunted FGO players since its inception. Is Cavalier Deon a boy or a girl? For now, I'm signing off. Thank you again. Peace out.